everybody, welcome back to Process Sports Radio. Once again, I'm your host, Justin Pooney. I hope you guys are doing well, staying healthy, safe. As you guys probably heard in the intro music, it's that time of year again. Summer is over. It is NFL season. The NFL season is back. And as you guys are probably aware, I'm jacked up about it. I love every sport, but something with the NFL just really pulls on my heartstrings. It's like the best reality TV show out there. Better than Big Brother, better than any other reality show you like. There's something about the NFL with all the storylines, whether it's injuries, wins, losses, drama, whatever. There's so much going on in the NFL during the 17 weeks of the season on plus the playoffs. It is unbelievable, and I absolutely cannot wait. There's so many great storylines going on because this is going to be an NFL season like none other. So as you guys are aware, I'm going to be previewing this NFL season with all the biggest storylines and who some of my contenders are and my Super Bowl picks. As well, I'm going to wrap a bow in the Canucks season, and I'm going to talk about the Raptors. Although they got destroyed yesterday and absolutely beat down, I do like their championship medal they showed during this series in Boston, and that's something I want to touch on, and just their organizational structure and why I feel they're one of the more elite franchises in all professional sports in North America. But before all that, I need you guys to do me a couple favors. One, like this video. Number two, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Number three, follow me on social media, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to use, follow me on there. Subscribe to all my audio podcast formats, whether it's Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. Follow me on there. Subscribe to me on there. And lastly, check my website out, www.processsportsradio.com for all the latest and greatest. You know where to find me at. I appreciate all you guys' support. Like I said, it is a new chapter in my life that I'm starting right now, but that doesn't mean Process Sports get put in the closet. That means that just keep on working out and getting better and better and better. So thank you guys for your support, and let's go right into it. So as you guys are probably aware, unless you're living under a rock or you live in another part of the country or another area, the Vancouver Canucks went on a magical playoff run. We're beating the Minnesota Wild to get into the playoffs, beating the defending champion St. Louis Blues, and then pushing the Vegas Golden Knights, probably the best team in the playoffs next to Tampa Bay left, to a seventh game. I think we all can agree, though, that this season was considered a success for the Canucks because they gained valuable playoff experience. Their big boys showed they can play in the playoffs and in prime time, and they learned a lot about themselves. They did not back down from challenges. They rose to a lot of challenges, and you know what? They didn't lie down and die to anybody, right? So that's great positive takeaways that we learned from this Canucks team. You look at this core. You have Horvat, who played unbelievable, dominant in the face-off circle, leading the league in goals in the playoffs, right? Pettersson, Hughes just shined so much, didn't back away from anything in their first playoffs. You look at guys like Besser, Miller, all these guys showed up when it mattered the most, and that's something to me that really proved a point where this team has a core and the talent to be a championship contender. Now, with that being said, though, it's not all roses and stuff like that. There is work that has to be done here. You have a great core, yes, but you need to fix everything else around it. Do I think guys like Sutter, Eriksson, Beagle, Roussel are great to have? No. Tyler Mott was very, very, very good this playoffs, and he's somebody that you would want to keep, I feel. Jake Virtanen, not so much, right? You look at Tyler Mott, why he got so much ice time is because he plays balls to the wall. He plays so hard, right? If Jake Virtanen played half as hard as Tyler Mott did, you would see Jake Virtanen play more and you would see him flourish more, right? You saw Thatcher Demko in the last 3 games of the Vegas series play unbelievable. Just play on a magical historical run. But with that being said, though, he's not going to be the starting goalie next year. You need to re-sign Jacob Markstrom. Yes, he played great for 3 games, but at the end of the day, it's just 3 games. Markstrom, without Jacob Markstrom here, you would not be where you were. Markstrom carried this team. He was the MVP. He's the reason why they were in the playoffs, right? So you still got to sign him, right? Now, you might have to sign him for as much, knowing that Demko's played very well. You have to do a bit of leverage there, as Jim Benning does, but you got to sign Markstrom. He's number 1 priority. And the bottom 6, yes, you need to upgrade that. The defense core, you need to upgrade that. But the problem is they have no money to spend. They're in cap hell. Unless you get creative, which they have to do, figure out a way to use assets and get those bad contracts off the books, right? That's the only way you're going to improve this team. What about Toffoli? What about Tanev? Yes, you have to resign all these guys, right? But you need to get creative. And Jim Benning, you need to understand this. We as Canucks Nation cannot sit back and rest on our laurels. Oh, we had a great run. We'll be fine. No. This team, in order to become a cup contender, needs to continue to push forward and keep their foot on the gas pedal, right? You cannot take a step back. We will not accept that here. 9 years it took us to win a playoff series. You think we want to go back into that hellhole we were just out of? No. We want to see a cup contender. We want to see a winner. We're starving for a winner. That's what we want. So Jim Benning and the front office need to truly get creative. Figure out ways to get rid of Eriksson, the Sutter, the Beagles, the Berchi contract, whatever, right? Figure it out. Get creative, circumvent the cap, do something to keep this young core together and build around it the right way. You have pieces there that you can build with. Figure out ways to supplement it. And I guarantee you this team has the championship medal and the championship qualities to become a championship team. That is what I love about this Canucks team. Speaking of champions, let's switch over to the NBA where the defending champs, the Raptors, did fall down 2-0 in their series against the Boston Celtics. But like I said, OG Anunoby hit that game-winning three-pointer over the Boston Celtics. Great pass from Kyle Lowry and saved them from going down 0-3 to 2-1, and they fought back in game 4 and won. Now you look at that series, yes, they were on the brink of elimination, but they didn't play bad. If it wasn't for Marcus Smart going crazy in game 2, right, it could have been a different story. Now they got pumped last game, they got destroyed, but the one thing I love about this Raptors team is they have that fight back mentality. They're not going to lie down. They are the defending champions. This is not the same LeBronto Raptors, all right? These are not the LeBronto Raptors anymore where they lay down, they die, and they just quit. No, this team has a championship experience. They have the confidence of winning last year that Kawhi gave them, that they will not lie down to anybody. They will come back and they will fight. Whether they lose tomorrow or they win tomorrow in Game 6 is irrelevant. You know they'll put up a great performance and they'll go down as proper champions. And that's something that Masai Ujiri has really done for this team in the last, how long has he been in? 5-6 years, right? You see this team that was a perennial loser and a shitty franchise for 15, 20, however long it was, right? And they've built into a winner. They were all always known for having great players that left. Bosch, Carter, McGrady, Stoudemire, they all came and left, right? Now you have guys that want to be there. Yes, Kawhi left, but that was a different circumstance. He had won the title, right? You look at this team, what Masai Ujiri did. They have a great ownership, they have a great executive, they have a great head coach, and they build a roster accordingly. You look at that, any great business company, organization, you need to have structure from the top to the bottom. The Raptors have it. They have a great ownership at MLSE, who's got one of the deepest pockets in all of North America. You have Masai Ujiri, who we all know and love. Nick Nurse, the coach of the year, the best coach in the NBA. And you have guys that know their roles, right? You look at a guy like Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siak, they all know the role. They all fight for the common goal. That's what makes teams great. You look at a team like the Knicks or the Timberwolves or these inept franchises, they have tried to quick fixes. Quick fix here, quick fix there. No. You need to structure your organization from top to bottom, all to have one common goal, and everybody knows their role and fights for that one role. That's what makes. For example, look at this. What came out last week? Reports are that Giannis wants to sign with either the Raptors and the Heat will be the two biggest suitors for Giannis. And what's the common similarity between both those teams? They have great organizational structure, whether it's from ownership to executives with Masai Ujiri and Pat Riley, to coaches, Nick Nurse, Eric Spoelstra, and so on down for, right? You look at that. That's what a guy like Giannis would need, because you need a whole organization that's committed to winning and has structure and who has the ability to change parts out and all fight for that common goal. You look at these other teams, they're all for quick fix. Even the Lakers, I find, they don't have that organizational structure that you need to be a successful team. Right? That is what makes the Raptors so great. That's why a guy like Giannis who wants to win, you insert him into the lineup, you know everybody's going to do their job and fight for that common goal. That's why I think the Raptors are not only one of the best franchises in the NBA, but they're also one of the best franchises in pro sports, because from the top on down, they have that structure, they have that skeleton that's going to make them successful. And that is something that you need in pro sports to be successful. Okay, lastly, let's go on to our NFL talk, where this Thursday, the season kicks off. The defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs take on the Houston Texans and their brand new $40 million man, Deshaun Watson, who deserves every penny they get. Now, this season, like every other sport, is going to be different than nobody's ever seen. Why? Because there was no OTAs, no rookie mini camps, no mini camps, nothing like that. You had training camp, but no preseason, right? And I feel that this is going to be really, really struggling for teams that don't have, of course, new coaches, new quarterbacks, new players like that need to learn the whole new system, right? But I think the one thing with the NFL is this. The one thing, as the NFL doesn't have a bubble, right? They are such a great league, and their ability to put the right rules in place, regulations in place, and have the right testing and keep their players safe. The NFL is the best league in all of pro sports. It's no secret to anybody. The NFL is king, and everybody else falls in between, right? So I think the NFL, if anybody's going to get it right, is going to be them, right? If anybody gets a positive case, they'll be able to move on perfectly fine. I do think that the NFL will be fine. The season will go on fine without a hitch. And I do think that it's going to be one of the best seasons and the most intriguing seasons we've seen in a while. Especially because, like I said, there's so many changes, new faces, new places. You have the whole thing of no preseason games. Teams are going to be getting out of the shoot slow, stuff like that. So the one team I really want to talk about first is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As we all know, the Bucs, everybody's favorite bandwagon team. But you got Brady now, Gronk. You got him with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. You added Shady McCoy, Leonard Fournette. You have Bruce Arians. And you have a pretty good defense, right? Now, do I think the Bucs are going to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl? No, I don't, unfortunately. Do I think they'll make the playoffs? Yes, they'll make the playoffs. But the biggest thing is because there was no preseason or no game reps, right? And it's hard to simulate game reps in practice, right? You look at Brady. Yes, he's got more weapons than he ever had in New England in the last little while, right? But he's got to learn a whole new system. It's no more the Patriot way. He's got to learn Bruce Arians' offense, right? So I think with this situation, it's going to be hard. The Bucs are going to start off slow because, like I said, they're not playing in the AFC East anymore, Tom Brady. You're playing in the NFC South, where there's guys like New Orleans. New Orleans has Sean Payton and Drew Brees, who have been together for how many years now together. They have that continuity. They have all that. And you look at all the contending teams, right? You look at the Baltimores, the San Frans, the Kansas Cities, the New Orleans, the Seattles, all those teams, right? What do they have? They have a quarterback and a coach who have been together for a while and they know the offense and they can have that continuity already there, right? You look at Brady, he's in a new system, new place, new weapons, all that stuff, right? So Tampa Bay is going to start off slow. Tampa Bay is not going to come out of the gates running. They're going to take time to warm up and get used to each other. Now, do I think they're going to heat up at the end of the year? Of course I do. I think Brady and his team is too talented not to make the playoffs, right? But they're not going to win the division because the New Orleans Saints, I feel, are probably one of the most, if not the most, complete team in the NFL. Drew Brees, Sean Payton, you added Emmanuel Sanders, you have Alvin Kamara, you have Mike Thomas, one of the best receivers in the game. You have a really good defense as well. I think the Saints will win that division with probably a 12-4 record, and the Bucs will probably be a 10-6 in my opinion. Next, I want to go to probably the best division in football, right? Where you have the NFC West, where you have San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks, Arizona Cardinals with DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray, which is going to be a dynamic duo. DeAndre Hopkins just got paid a boatload of money. So, and of course the LA Rams. But in my opinion, I'm taking Seattle to win this division, not because I'm a Seahawks fan, not because of all that, because I feel that this team has the best quarterback in the division. They have the best coach in the division. They have the best middle linebacker in the division. And they have the best safety in the division, right? You have a team in Seattle that added Jamal Adams from the New York Jets. Yes, they gave up a lot from both. Like I said, big-time players in big-time games make big-time plays. And that's what you need, right? And that's what Jamal Adams is going to bring, right? So I feel that, yes, they gave up a lot to get him, but you added him to your safety. You added Quinton Dunbar. You have Quandre Diggs. You have Shaquille Griffin. You now have one of the best secondaries in the NFC, probably the NFL. Then you also have the best quarterback in the NFC, and next to Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in Russell Wilson. You have Chris Carson who's back. You have a DK Metcalf who's just going to take another year of experience, another year to get better. Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson have unbelievable chemistry. You have Greg Olsen now. Big wild card is if Josh Gordon stays healthy and stays on the straight and narrow, he will be a big boost. So there's a lot of weapons they have. They're looking very dangerous, right? So I think Seattle takes that division with an 11-5 record. It's going to be tooth and nail, though. I mean, the 49ers and the Seahawks and the Cardinals are all going to beat each other up. And I think that the Seahawks will, at the end of the season, be the ones winning that division. Now, finally, let's go over to the NFC North, where I think, sorry, not finally, but let's go to the NFC North, where I got the Vikings winning just because they have the best roster. They have the most complete roster, best coaching staff, and the least amount of drama. You got the Packers with the whole quarterback dynamic with Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. I do think the Packers will make the playoffs, but I do think that things have a chance to be very explosive there. If things don't go well, right, I think Rodgers can start pouting and things will go downhill, and it might be a terrible season, right? The Bears and the Lions, whatever, who cares about them, right? And finally, the NFC East. I think you give me Carson Wentz over Dak Prescott. Still, give me Doug Peterson over Mike McCarthy. Better coach, better quarterback, better Darius Slays in the secondary. Now they have a better defense, in my opinion. Philadelphia, they have new young weapons. I think Philly wins that division pretty easily, I think. But they always beat each other up. But I think Philly takes it with a little bit of ease. So my NFC teams are going to be it's the Saints number 1, Seattle number 2. Then we got the Vikings, and then we're going to go with the Eagles as my division winners. Then we're going to have the 49ers, the Bucks, and the Packers as my wildcard teams. So let's go over to the AFC, where the AFC it's much more easier, but there's a lot more clarity, I find, where there's 2 teams. The Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Those 2 teams are going to be fighting each other to see who goes to the Super Bowl to represent the AFC for the next 7 to 10 years, in my opinion. Those teams are far and away the best two teams in the NFL. If you look at all the power rankings, all the standings, the Ravens and the Chiefs are the two best teams. They're the most depth teams, most complete rosters, best quarterbacks, really good coaches, all that stuff. They have all of that, and it's going to be those two. So you got Baltimore winning their division, Kansas City winning their division. Then we go to a division like the AFC East, where there's a new quarterback in New England for the first time in 20 years, where everybody's saying that Cam Newton's great, he's fitting to the Patriot way, he works hard, he's the first one there, last one to leave. Do I think Cam is working hard? Yes. But do I also think they're pumping a little bit of smoke up his ass? Yes. Because I think Cam Newton's in New England for one reason only. It's not to win games, per se, because I think the Patriots want to get more draft capital, draft their next future quarterback, or have Jarrett Stidham because they like Jarrett Stidham, right? I think Cam Newton's there just to prove he's healthy, prove that he's able to throw again, he can play in a good system, work hard in the Patriot offense, and then get another starting job elsewhere, another contract next year, right? I don't think he's going to be with the Patriots long term. It's a 1 year thing for Cam and the Patriots. Now, I do believe that the Patriots will be a 7-9, 8-8 team. I don't think they're going to be world beaters. They're not going to. I think Buffalo wins that division. Josh Allen's going to be another year better. Stephon Diggs, they got a really good defense. I think Buffalo takes the division. Miami might be really good if Tua starts playing, but it looks like Fitzmagic's playing right now. So I got the Buffalo Bills winning that division. Then we go to the AFC South, where you have Tennessee, who got Jadeveon Clowney. You still got Derrick Henry, but you gave Ryan Tannehill a lot of money, and it is Ryan Tannehill at the end of the day. I'm going to take Houston. That's going to be like 8-8, 7-9-7 winning division. I don't think that division is very good. I think Phillip Rivers and Indianapolis is going to be a dud. I think Jacoby Brissett's going to take over because Phillip Rivers is a turnover machine, right? So I think, and Jacksonville is just Jacksonville, right? So I think that it's going to be the Houston Texans that take it because they have the best quarterback. They have the best quarterback, and even though they lost DeAndre Hopkins, I still think that he'll be able to take them and win that division. Now, let's go to the wildcard teams. Now, the Cleveland Browns, in my opinion, will make the playoffs this year. So all you Browns fans out there that were on the bandwagon last year, you better want to stay on because they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think the AFC North, with the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers is going to be a really tough division because now, not so much with the Ravens because the Ravens I feel are so much farther and way better than everybody else, but the Ravens are so much better, but the Browns and the Steelers are so interesting. I like what the Browns did. The Browns have, they had middle splash moves last year, but they really focused on their offensive line, getting a good coaching staff, and then getting all that fixed so they have that structure, right? I think that'll help Baker Mayfield. They'll help him throw to Odell, Jarvis. You got Austin Hooper at tight end now, who's going to be a good security blanket. You have Nick Chubb. You have Kareem Hunt. You have those weapons, and you still have a good defense. So I think the Browns will make the playoffs. Right? I like what Pittsburgh did too. I love Minka Fitzpatrick. I love him. Really good player. I like the Chase Claypool addition to help pair him with Juju Smith-Schuster. I like that Big Ben is back healthy. So I think the Steelers will be there in the playoffs. And I also think you look at the Las Vegas Raiders. I think the Raiders have a really good team. You have Henry Ruggs. You have Hunter Henry. You have Darren Fells. You have Josh Jacobs. You have Derek Carr. You have a good roster around there. And I think the Raiders under John Gruden will make the playoffs this year as well. I think Derek Carr wants to prove something to John Gruden. I think the Raiders will make the playoffs. So in the AFC, I have Baltimore, Kansas City, then you got Houston, and then you got Buffalo. Those are the division winners. And the wild card, I got the Browns, the Steelers, and then the Raiders as my playoff teams. And so finally, let's go down to here. So first of all, for my MVP pick, I am picking Russell Wilson to win the MVP. He's finally getting his just due. He's going to prove to the world that he is one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen, the best quarterbacks in their generation, right? He's going to win the MVP, and he's going to cement his legacy. Now, I wanted to pick Seattle to win the Super Bowl because I think they have a great chance, but I have them losing in the NFC title game to the New Orleans Saints simply because I feel the Saints have a better all-around roster, and I think finally they get off that playoff schneid of getting the heartbreak and all of that. I think they finally make it to the big game in Super Bowl 55 in Tampa Bay. On the AFC side, like I said, it's going to be Baltimore versus Kansas City, and I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in a very close game, and Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens will win the Super Bowl this year. Super Bowl 55 in Tampa Bay, they'll beat the New Orleans Saints in the Super Bowl. So that's my pick. I got the Baltimore Ravens beating the New Orleans Saints in this year's Super Bowl. I know it might be not a pretty obvious pick, but that's why I feel. I think the Baltimore Ravens have the best team. I love Lamar Jackson. I love their offense. I love their rushing attack. I think their defense is stout. I love their coach, right, in John Harbaugh. I think the Baltimore Ravens will win the Super Bowl this year. So Last thing I want to talk about football is before I sign off is every week now I'm going to be doing a lock of the week for all you sports bettors out there. I'm going to take my surefire bet of all bets and I'm going to give it to you guys. So put your money on it. You're going to make a lot of money thanks to me this year. And don't worry, I do take a little bit of a royalty check too if you do win. So guys, I'm going to be doing that every Thursday. I'll be doing that. Every Thursday I'll be giving my lock of the weeks. 2 games, 2 teams that I think are surefire and best bet wins. So stay tuned for that. And also guys, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for all the support. I appreciate it all. I'll talk to you guys soon. New episode coming out next week. So stay safe and take care.